I wanted to do another live for you. And let's see here. Get everything loaded up here. So we'll kind of refresh what we were talking about earlier, or last week, or not last week, the last time we did a live. Um, there we go. Okay, so 2026 Tiguan and 2025 Tiguan seems to be kind of the hot topic. Let's see here. Let's get stuff loaded up here. Okay, don't mind my clutter on my desk here. This room's still a work in progress. But I want to talk more about the 2026 Tiguan. We did earn some more 2026 Tiguans. We earned six more, and we also earned an SEL-R-Line turbo in that. So total, we have, let's see here, for total pipeline here. Hold on, I don't need to relog in there. That's a different screen. Here we go. Okay, so for earned Tiguan's, this time I have an SEL-R-Line Turbo Deep Black with Amber Brown. And the magic question is, what's the price on these? We're not seeing pricing yet. Still, 2026s will end up at port with a price hold on them and probably a launch hold. So they're actually in the pipeline. They're actually moving all of our 2025. All of our 2025 Tiguans have already been built. So they're all leaving Puebla, headed to Freeport. So all of those are built, and there are some 2026s that have already been built and loaded too. So as for the 2026s, let's see here. Our first, excuse me, our first 2026 SEL-R-Line Turbo is already on a train headed to port. It has an ETA now of October 24th. That's Sandstone with Amber Brown. Anybody knows someone that wants that car, they can reserve it still. It's still available. That's our first one. The next ones have not been built yet. So those are, let's see here. Those are Sandstone with Amber Brown, another one. Also an SEL-R-Line. These are all SEL-R-Line turbos. So Avocado Green with Amber Brown, Opal White Pearl with Amber Brown, Monterey Blue with Mistral Leather. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have a total of 6 SEL-R-Line turbos in our pipeline. So your local dealer is probably going to be more of the same. Unless you're actually ordering a car or you're working with your dealer to get one of the ones that's allocated. The other thing, I'm starting to see questions on my YouTube channel about 2026 GLIs. We already have one of those in our pipeline, and it is already spoken for because it's an automatic, and we've been getting nothing but manuals as of late. So that the GLI Autobahn automatic is already spoken for. That's at factory. Let's see if I can isolate Jetta here and tell you what that pipeline looks like. Let's see here. So Jetta, the status of those is they're all scheduled with an ETA of December 29th. So they're going to end up coming right before New Year's. So looks like those aren't going to come out any earlier than that. And the 2026 Jettas that I earned all show January of 2026. It's hard to believe we're that close to January, but we are. So it looks like New Year's, right around New Year's, after Christmas, but before New Year's, Jettas are going to start landing. 2026s, that is. There's already one Jetta Sport that's at factory that's already been completed. That shows a November 10th ETA, but they're going to come in low and slow for a little bit because they're cutting production on the Taos, and I think they may actually cut production on the Jetta as well. Not 100% sure though. As for, let's see here, what questions do we have? Hello there, Fritz. How are we doing? Um, so the sandstone one, I got two of them available with Amber Brown. Fritz, you could come up. I know you'd upset your salesman down there, but you could come up and get one from me. I'm not gonna be mad at you. And then drive it home. Uh, the other thing that I wanted to talk about was our inventory overall. Atlases, we have really made a run on Atlases. We're down to less than 40 Atlases in stock. As for the Atlas, the 2026s are now landing. And we just got our first cross sport built, our first 2026, and we're late to the game because there's other dealers that already have 2026 cross sports on the ground, and our first one just got built. Um, let's see. The first one we got was an SEL-R-Line Black Edition in pure gray with what they're calling copper seats now. They're not calling that cinnamon. So I'm guessing it's going to be a similar color, but they're calling it copper. Not sure what that's going to look like. Because there was nothing in the order guide about the color change or anything like that. Let's see here. Speaking of cross sports, my wife and I are now the proud owners of an ID4. We traded in the SEL-R-Line Black Edition cross sport for that. I'm going to miss that car. I'm not going to lie. But the employee deal on an ID4 was way too good to pass up. I'm talking way too good. So not only did we get an employee discount, but we also got the $7,500 tax credit for leasing it, and also the other incentives on top of that. So we were able to get a car, get that ID4, a Pro S all-wheel drive for a Jetta payment. That's insane. And the fact that I won't have to pay for gas for it. Wife works from home, so that's going to work out great. So that's going to cut our payments in half. Well, that did cut our payment in half from what we were paying for the crossport. So that was a big deal. Because I thought cold dead fingers were how we were going to get rid of that crossport, because it was such a sharp, badass looking car. But right now we have an ID4 and a Golf R, and the daughters both have Jettas. So we're only leasing that for 2 years, so that'll be fine. Does anyone have any questions about anything? I see there's 8 people in the chat there, or watching the video here. Just kind of type in where you're at. No, Dan, no news on the pricing yet. Still tariff. They will have tariffs on those. We're not sure what that looks like. They're going to put what's called a price hold on those until they figure it out. So you're not going to see anything on those probably until they actually get close to releasing them. They'll probably do it probably a week before they actually release the hold for shipping those to the dealership. So there's several holds that that I predict these cars will go through. There'll be a pricing hold. There'll be a launch hold, what they call that. Well, there'll be those two. So it won't be a tariff hold. They've done that before, but they ended up shipping the cars. They didn't do the tariff hold. But there'll be the launch hold and the price hold. Those are 2 holds that you'll have to go through and get. They have to kind of get through those. So they're holding out on pricing, and my guess is they don't want the cat out of the bag too early. And at the same time, they're probably hoping that something gets worked out, because they've been in direct talks with the White House about tariffs and things like that, and they didn't want to step on the toes of the EU or anything that they were negotiating. So there's that. ID Buzz and ID4 will lose any kind of incentives for EV stuff. The EV lease bonus, or not lease bonus, but the 7,500, they will both lose that at September 30th. So you have like 14 days left for that. No, you don't. Today is the 18th. So you have 12 days. 12 days left for that. So if you're looking at getting an EV and they have it on the lot, man, get it. Make sure you lease it, though. Don't buy it. Don't buy an EV right now. Do not. We did not. We leased it. Does anyone else have any other questions? And where are you guys at? Just let me know. The other thing that I did find out, the new the new 2026 Tiguan will have one other thing added in assisted lane change. It's going to be more than likely part of the travel assist suite of assistance systems where it'll help with lane changes. Um, I'm trying to think what else. Oh, I did have a customer reach out to me about the 2026 Carmen Gia. If you guys are seeing those videos out there, it's not really happening. Those are AI generated videos, or a lot of them are AI, and it's a lot of fluff. And man, there's a couple videos out there where that car looks incredibly sexy. It looks incredibly good, but there is no 2026 Carmen Gia for the U.S. anyway. And those videos, to my eye, I can tell that they're not legit. But there's a lot of them out there, and they're all saying kind of the same thing, that there's a 2026 Carmen Gia. Oh, if there was I'd be printing money. Volkswagen would be printing money. They absolutely would, and I'd be like, take my money, take my money. Where do I sign? Um, because the videos did a really good job. A couple of them did a really, really good job of making that car look good. Um, let's see. 2026 Taos. As I said before, those are getting built. Those are currently getting built. Production of those is going to be curtailed a little bit, so because tariffs are not going to be friendly to that car. Neither is the Jetta. So you'll see fewer of those being built. That doesn't necessarily mean that there won't be any supply on the lots, because the market is really changing. The market is in a flux. I don't want to say it's down. I don't want to say it's up. It's just weird. Car buying has not been. This is the weirdest it's been since I've been in a car business, and it's just really, really weird. From a financial standpoint, your car salesmen, they aren't making the money that they used to. You have to sell more cars to do that. At least with our brand, I have to say there's not a lot of money to be made there, and it's been cut. So there's that. Let's see here. Um, then let's see, what else was I talking about here? 2026 Jedi went over. 2026 Taos, 2026 Tiguan's. They're currently being built. They're no longer building any 2025, so they're actually building the 2026s. 2026 Atlas is being built right now, as well as the 2026 Crossport. As for the 2026 ID4, don't know what's going to happen with that. I know that they're gonna pause production in October, in hopes, I guess, of figuring something out with this administration. Not sure what the plan is there. But ID4s after September 30th are going to be few and far between, because what happened here with this lease deal and all the stuff, like what I took advantage of, there were 1, 2, 3, 4 employees that bought ID4s. 4 of us, or leased them, I should say. And funny story is, one of the guys that works, that works at the dealership couldn't do a 1-year lease, had to do a 2-year lease, because the computer could not calculate a lease payment. It was under $1. Under $1 a month for a lease payment at 10,000 miles. So it had to be changed to where it made sense, because the computer was absolutely freaking out. So 2-year lease for his son to drive, and he's paying less than $100 a month for that. That's insane. So this is why we took the deal we did. It would be foolish not to. Let's see. ID4, ID Buzz. There's no new news on the ID Buzz. ID Buzz, the 2025s, we still have 2 that have to be built. Jeff S. Does the 2026 Tiguan Turbo come with black roof or body color? Yes. Okay. So here's what, according to the order guide, the only way you get a black roof on the, are you talking about the SE? Yeah, the SEL-R-Line Turbo. The only way you're going to get a black roof on the SEL-R-Line Turbo is to get the green one. The green one's going to come standard with a black roof because that's the only way it comes. It doesn't come with a whole body of green. As for sandstone, white, uh, the Monterey blue, and opal white, they do not come with a black roof. Um, Now, there was a press release out, and I got a feeling um, the press release is definitely not the rule by which everything's going to go by. They're going to go by the order guide, and the order guide does not show a black roof on any other version of the SEL-R-Line Turbo other than the green. I'm going to see if I can find it here. I'm not sure why I'm yawning. I got a case of the yawns, guys, but I apologize. To me, that's kind of rude, but I can't stop them from happening. So I apologize. I'm trying to pull up an order guide so you guys can see. Well, I can't show it to you, but I can pull it up and take a look at it and tell you what I'm seeing on it. So while that's loading, the other car that I need to talk about, GTI, 2026 GTI. They're already building these, and we have 2 on a boat and 1 at a factory, already built, and on a boat heading over. They do have a launch hold and a price hold on those as well. Let's see here. I'm pulling up the order guide now to see what we pull up here. 2026. Okay, so as for colors, the SEL-R-Line. Okay, so down at the bottom here, it shows the color breakdown. Deep black. So deep black pearl, of course, you can get that on an SEL-R-Line, and it's going to be a black roof because it's all black. The platinum gray metallic is not available for SEL-R-Line. Opal white pearl with a deep black roof is only available for SEL-R-Line. Opal white pearl whole body is available for SEL-R-Line. Sandstone with deep black roof is only available as an SEL-R-Line. Sandstone whole body is going to be for the SEL. And then Monterey blue with a black roof is the SEL-R-Line only. Monterey blue for the entire car is SEL-R-Line or SEL-R-Line black. And then it shows the green with the deep black roof, and it's on both SEL-R-Line and SEL-R-Line. So that press release that went out was incorrect in the fact that it said that the black roof was going to be standard on SEL-R-Line trims. I had a person reach out to me about that, and he sent me the press release, and yeah, it does say that it's standard, but the press release doesn't build the cars, the order guide does. So let's see here. So Jeff, I hope that answers your question. Where are you at, Jeff? And then Fritz, it's totally weird because we both had cars that had the automatic start stop shut off, or the automatic start stop where you come up to a traffic light or something and it would shut off. And with this electric car, this ID Buzz or ID4, when you pull up to a light, I told my mind expects it to shut off, and it doesn't. It just sits. It's bizarre. And like today, I did go to we have these places here called Quick Trip, spelled with a Q, QUIKTRIP. So they're kind of big around here. I went there to get a tea today, but I did go in my Golf R. But I realized there's going to be a time where I go to Quick Trip to get something in an ID4, and I'm not going to have to pull up to a gas pump. That's going to be weird. And the way we figure it, wife works from home. I'm 20 miles from work. I'll drive it 1 day a week to work to charge it, and then I'll bring it back home for her to have charge for the week, and then that'll do it. Toronto, Canada. Wow. Yeah, I would think that they would keep them pretty much the same for both, since we're both North American. I would think that the color options wouldn't change for Canada. Now, you guys do call them different though. So you have the High Line, the Comfort Line, and the Trend Line, and I'm not sure where that falls in the Tiguan, and I'm not sure if they're offering 4 trims for the Tiguan like they are in the States, because that would mean one would be I guess that would be a Highline R-Line turbo. I don't know what they call that for Canada, but you will have the same, pretty much the same stuff we have. It's just you're going to have heated seat standard, and I think you're going to get all-wheel drive standard on every trim. I don't think they're going to do front-wheel drive ones for Canada. I don't think they ever do. Let's see there. Hey there, Andrew. How are you? So the Tiguan. Um, any other questions about the Tiguan SEL-R-Line Turbo, the new one? We know about we talked about the colors. I did talk about the assisted lane change, and I did talk about the black roof. Yeah, the black roof's only going to be on the green one, which is kind of unfortunate. So, let's see. Um, what am I missing? We talked about Taos, we talked about Jetta, we talked about Tiguan, Atlas. Oh, Atlas Crossport. Atlas Crossport is I was reading something there. Sorry. Atlas Crossport is being built as well. So there's the new redesign for both the Atlas and the Crossport. Um, I think is going to come out as a 2027. It's going to come out probably middle of 2026. I have no evidence to back that up. It's just a hunch. Usually when I tell you stuff like that, I'm going to tell you because it is just a hunch. Because I have been wrong. I've gotten information from people that's supposed to be definitely, probably, definitely, and it ends up being no, that was inaccurate. Um, I think the 2027 is going to be the change. And if you guys want to get an idea of what changes they could possibly do to the 2027 Atlas, there's a video out for a 2025 Terramont Pro. I believe is a Terramont Pro. It is badass. I'm gonna tell you what, the door handles on the Atlas. I have heard rumors that this is actually happening because they were actually testing this design, where the door handles are sunk in and they actually pop out when you walk close. You have that proximity. So when they detect a key fob, they pop out so you can grab the handle and get in. Also, I did see something else on that video about the Terramont. They talked about how the pistons or whatever fires the handle out. It doesn't fire it out like bang. It just pops out. But they've tested it to where it would be strong enough to push through a glaze coating of ice or snow or build up on the car in the wintertime, where that wouldn't stop the handles from popping out. And I thought, they're actually putting all of that thought into that. I hadn't thought of that. So I thought that was pretty cool. But this car is badass. Some things that I picked up from the video, and what I'll do is I'll post it on some of my other social stuff. A link to it. I may post it on my YouTube channel too, just in the post section. But one of the big things that happens is the entire front end and the back end the whole car is redesigned first and foremost. But those seats that are in a Tiguan, those hexagon shaped seats, the design on the seats comes to the Atlas. The Atlas also looks like it has a little bit stolen from art velours for the door panels. So the door panels and the pockets in the doors look like they're kind of velour lined. And this is all from a video. And keep in mind, the US market, they absolutely 1000% will delete a lot of stuff from the Chinese version of this car. That's what the Terramont is a Chinese version of the Atlas. It's built for the China market, and I believe actually they import Terramonts to Mexico and Belarus or somewhere else. There's not a whole lot of countries that get them, but there's a couple. Outside of Canada, of course. Canada and US, it's an Atlas. Everywhere else, it's a Terramont. But one of the other things that I did notice, the front end, they're using IQ lights, looks like matrix LEDs where they're pieced together. And you guys have seen how the Tiguans, I've talked about the three-dimensional tail light on the Tiguan, where they're layered on the sides, where there's one here and there's another piece here and then another piece here, and they're kind of jagged and staggered. The front headlight display does that on the new Atlas. The Atlas also does a light dance when you unlock it on front and rear. The logos still light up, of course, but the simple light bar is gone, and it's actually a whole light assembly. It's assembly of lights across the front. and the tail light does the same, and they're kind of staggered in this fashion, almost like Tetris and kind of off. It's pretty cool looking. The other thing that I did notice, they do a wireless charger with the phone face up, no trap door for it by the shifter. Oh, and the shifter copies the Tiguan. It goes up to the steering stalk where you twist on the steering stalk. So the little chicken nugget is gone, but you keep storage underneath and the center console there. The other thing that I did notice, the screens. You have a screen behind the steering wheel. You have a big screen. The new screen that the Tiguan's have comes to the Atlas. So that 12-inch screen and that 15-inch screen, I'm guessing they're going to bring the 15-inch screen to the SEL Premium R-Line. So they'll keep that. So that'll be in the new Atlas too. So the 2027s will have probably backlit sliders and that touchscreen without the gesture control. So the touchscreen that is currently in the 25, 24, 25, and 26 Atlases will go bye-bye. Also, there is a screen on the passenger side. The passenger side front seat has a screen off to the right. So that's a copy from GM, and the Nissan Murano has that. A lot of cars have that now where they have these wraparound screens. Give you an idea, Cadillac has a 55-inch screen. So this is going to be something like that. Also, another change was there's actually buttons on the rear back panel behind the third row seat to fold down the seats rather than just a strap and just pulling. There's actually buttons over on the right side. Now, I don't know that they're power. It may just be cable driven, kind of like in the new Tiguan where you just pull it and there's a cable that releases them. I couldn't tell if it was power or not, and the person who demonstrated it in the video didn't even address them. There was a privacy cover installed, and the third row seats were folded flat. So, but the buttons were definitely there. Another thing that I did notice about that Atlas is those same black wheels that are on the SEL-R-Line black Tiguan for 25 and 26 are on that Atlas. So there were 20-inch wheels. And the R-Line, it wasn't R-Line. The badge was kind of like the front end of the Tiguan. It's kind of off to the, if you're looking at the car, standing in front of the headlights looking at it, the left side, there's an R-Line badge there, and then there's an R-Line badge on each of the doors, just like it is on the new Tiguan right now, the SEL-R-Line and the SEL-R-Line. So it's just the R badge on the door. It had this matte brown paint on it, matte, like no gloss. It looked so good with gloss black mirrors, gloss black wheels. The thing was super sexy. They keep, of course, the panoramic sunroof. Everything's going to be capacitive touch on the inside except for the steering wheel. Steering wheel's going to have buttons. And then I'm also hearing that they're going to bring, that Volkswagen's looking into bringing buttons back to climate control and other things too. Just because the blowback for going all touchscreen has been pretty intense. But I don't know when that's going to happen. And again, this video is not a Volkswagen endorsed video or anything like that, but it shows the Terramount. And what I'll do is I'll end up posting that. I'll end up posting that somewhere on my page and on my Facebook page and stuff, so you guys can see that. But it looks spectacular. I will say that. And then there's also a video that gets kind of a little bit of hate, a little bit of razzing, and a lot of shade where they're testing an Atlas. It's that same brown color with the matte finish, and it's got the yellow stripes on it. They're doing rolled over testing on it, and it goes on a sled at a high rate of speed and flips upside down into some sand and then flips back over. And it just shows like the mirror breaks, but that's it, and the flashers come on. And a lot of comments are like, wow, a bed of sand? Come on, Volkswagen, do better. And I kind of chuckle at that because I get it. Let's see. 2027 Jetta, a new Jetta's coming in 2027. I believe it because the Jetta was supposed to get the axe, and then all of a sudden they changed their mind about it. And this refresh that they did, although it's a great refresh, it did a lot for the Jetta. I don't think it was in the cards. I think they were planning on doing this and it's being done with the Jetta. Now the refresh for the Jetta, let's hope they make it badass. They got to. As for the 2027 GTI, don't know what that looks like because 2026 is not going to be the electric GTI. A lot of people have asked me about that. So there won't be an electric GTI for 2026. That's just a regular gas-powered 241 horsepower GTI. And as I said, they're already being built and they're already on boats coming over here from Germany. 2026 Golf Rs. They were in my order banks that I could order them. So if you know someone that was looking for a Golf R, a 2026, give them my information. I can actually order that car. I'm going to double check here and see if I still can. Real quick, I'll log in here and do that. But if you guys got any questions, let me know. Let's see here. Factory ordering. Okay. So if I pick 2026, sometimes they take these away too. So they may be there for a short period and then they go away. So color choices for the Golf R. Mythos Black Metallic, Pure White, Pure White, Graphite Gray Metallic, or Lapis Blue. So they've added Graphite Gray Metallic to the mix. So I'm going to bet that that looks really good. But I love my Lapis Blue. Sorry about that. My Golf R is now 3 years old. Cold dead fingers is how I give that car up. I just rolled over 50,000 miles on it. Yes, I drive it as my daily driver, but it's super nice. Let's see. Do we have any other questions up there? If you guys, I see 14 people are watching. Just type in where you're at. I'm just curious. Last time I had 3 people watching from Florida at the same time. That was kind of crazy. Now I know there's one person from Florida in here. There's one person from St. Louis in here. And then there's another person from Toronto in here. So I'm just curious where you're at. Let's see. I feel like I'm still missing one. ID Buzz, we talked about Tiguan, we talked about Jetta, we talked about GLI. Really? 255 horsepower and 292 foot-pounds of torque? That's not stock. 241 is supposed to be it. I'll have to double check that, but I'm pretty sure it's still 241. Perhaps was that a Euro spec? Because the Euro spec did get a horsepower bump. The US did not because they don't like our EPA standards. That's also the reason why we got rid of manual gearboxes, is because of the emissions requirements. So I'm using good old Google here. Let's see here to see what it tells me. Yeah, that 255, I'm pretty sure that's going to be a Euro spec car because the Club Sport, I believe the Club Sport did get a horsepower bump, the GTI Club Sport, and the GTI did too. That's outside of US. Make that 291. No US. It's underrated. Okay. Yeah. 241 horsepower, still for the US spec. Golf R, though, is about to get a boost to 300, and I believe it's 333 for next year. Let's see. 2026 Golf R. It's funny that I'm using Google to double check these because I've learned all this stuff and then I don't remember it. 328. So 2026 goes to 328, not quite to 333. Let's see. Do you think? Okay, hold on. Let me see what that comment was there. Do you think that VW will make the high performance Golf R before going fully electric? Mike from Long Island in New York. Great videos. Thank you, Mike. That high performance Golf R, if you're referring to that 5-cylinder that has the engine, the RS3 engine, that was unfounded. That was, I guess, basically clickbait for that because they're not going to do that for the U.S. That was for the, what was that, 25th anniversary of the Golf R, I think. I was believing that story. I was definitely all in on that story. I was hoping that was true, but once again, it was not. They did, speaking of stories, they did announce that the Touareg was going to end production after like 26 years of being in production. But then the very next week, they announced that there's going to be an ID Touareg. So I don't know what's going on with that. And I think Volkswagen still got the idea that they're going to go almost fully electric by a certain date. I don't think they've pulled their foot off the gas on that. Well, they have pulled their foot off the gas, but I don't think they've let go of that idea. And I'm not sure how that looks or how that works for the company in the future. I do know that we sold more ID4s this month than we've sold all year. I will say that we sold every ID4 that we got, and the phone still blows up for people looking for ID4s. Fritz, you're absolutely right. The Bug and the Passat need to come back, but they're going to have some type of electrification if they do. You know that. The Bug, I've told you guys dozens of times. I've heard of them patenting the name E-Beetle. And then there's, of course, the internet joke that if they had an electric Beetle, they should call it the Lightning Bug. I'm down for that one. I like that one, but I don't see Volkswagen taking that serious. I don't think they have a sense of humor like that. But the Passat definitely should be back. Um, yeah, and the ID Touareg is definitely confirmed. And then there's also rumors that the ID4 will merge with the Tiguan and become the ID Tiguan. Uh, yeah, Dan, you're not wrong. No problem selling EVs when you're giving them away. That's exactly right. But Volkswagen knows that they're going to be stuck with those cars if they don't push them out. And I think the same thing's happening. I literally, guys, I watched a video today that named the top 14 cars that are slow sellers. And on that list, Volkswagen had one. It was a Taos. But ahead of the Taos, as in the slowest selling car, was the Mustang Mach-E. I'm a little surprised by that because that is an electric car that around here in Missouri, I see lots of Mach-E's around. I hate the name. I hate that it's a Mustang. They called it a Mustang, but the Mach-E was number 5 on their list. The Audi A4 was number 3. That's insane to me. And in a car in this economy where people are kind of trying to make ends meet and trying to cut their budget. Nissan had the number 1 slowest selling car at the Nissan Versa. This is unrelated, but that car has a starting MSRP of 15.9, and they still aren't selling. This average, the amount of cars on the ground for this, there's a 472-day supply. That's over a year, almost a year and a half supply of Nissan Versas on the ground at $16,000. That's insane to me. Let's see. How much horsepower would a fully electric GTI have when it comes out? I am not sure, as they haven't really. I don't think they've really done anything other than a concept vehicle for that yet. And I think they actually delayed what they were going to do. They were initially shooting for 2026 for that car, and that got delayed or put on hiatus. So I am not sure what the horsepower is going to be, but you can bet it's going to be something else. It's definitely going to start with a 3. It has to. If they made that car all-wheel drive, that would be special too, but then that would encroach on the Golf R, and I'm pretty sure they're going to plan a electric Golf R as well. So electrification, they're still sticking with it. Some of you if you follow the Volkswagen brand in general, know about Scout. Scout is building a factory in Blythewood, South Carolina. That plant, as far as I know, I think they're probably halfway through construction, or they're at the halfway point on construction. My hunch is that plant, before it actually physically opens, will be building a Porsche and probably a Audi an Audi. I can't talk. An Audi nameplate there, because Audi has no presence in the U.S. for factories. And neither does Porsche. Excuse me. With tariffs being a real thing, they'll need to do something because it's costing them billions with a B. to have tariffs in place. Um, but they are being sued by pretty much every Volkswagen dealer in the network because Scout wants to sell directly to consumers without without dealerships. So they're in the news a lot. But they just rolled out two prototypes for the two cars they're building, a pickup truck and an SUV. Both look really, really nice. And there's a video out there of um, the CEO of Scout riding along with Jay Leno in a Scout SUV, which is pretty cool. Makes me think of the movie Speed, but I think that was a Bronco. That wasn't a Scout, but they're kind of similar looking. Does anyone else have any other questions? Just let me know. Again, I'm still feeling like I left a car out. ID4, Taos, Atlas, Tiguan. Nothing new coming down otherwise, other than the Tiguan itself. I'm kind of excited for the 2026 to get here because then the 2025s will be behind us. And the fact that they rolled out the 2025 so late and they announced the 2026 next to a 2025, we'll forget all about that. And those of you who are wondering about the ID7, still no word on that coming to the U.S. I don't think that car makes it. I don't think it makes the cut for the U.S. market. I think it's too much car for the market. Unless they call it an ID Passat or something like that. They could actually try to pull that off. Does anyone else have any other questions? Fritz, I know you got a question. So, inventory wise, I will tell you this: our inventory is up quite a bit. We are now at 269 cars in stock at my dealership, which is a new high for us since I've been there. 269 is a pretty good amount of cars, but at the same time, our pipeline had over 400 cars in it, 430 cars at one point. It's now down to 401. But we had 440 cars in stock. We'll still sell in a good month 60 to 70 cars. So that hasn't really slowed down. It's just they're a little tougher. They're a little tougher to sell, in the fact that the prices keep going the wrong direction and payments keep going the wrong direction. So right now there's 267 cars on the ground with another 38 plus 21 plus 12 plus 52. So yeah, another easily 100 and some, roughly 130 cars behind those that are coming to us. And that will be something else. Let's see here. So what's the next question here? Let's see here. Will the new colors for 2026 Golf R be available to view online? They may do that, and if you click on build, but it's graphite gray. That's the only color change. You keep Mythos black, you keep pure white, and you keep lapis blue. Of course, they'll never stray away from lapis blue, but graphite gray is a new ad. The black edition goes away, of course. That was only 1 year, but I think the Euro pack sticks around. So you keep the Euro package. You can still do that where you can choose to not get a sunroof, get the titanium exhaust, and get the cloth seats with the art velour. Let's see here. I purchased a Jetta SE last week. I have a little over 100 miles on it. When can it? I would say wait till you hit about 1,000 miles, and then you can kind of. But then again, in my Golf R, I just drove it like I stole it. We're not taught or told that there's a break-in period, but a lot of our customers tell us that. So that's kind of where we're at it with that. I mean, break even is maybe 600 miles, and then try it out. But you're gonna love that car. That Jetta SE has a lot of pickup. This year coming up, 2026, the sunroof will be standard. Don't know if you got one. Excuse me. Don't know if you got one with a sunroof or without, but it'll be standard in 2026. My daughter has a 2025. My other daughter has a 2020. And we had a 2014. So we've had three Jettas in our family. Two Atlases, one in the cross sport, one in the full size. Let's see. One Tiguan, and now an ID4 and a Golf R and a GTI. So we've had quite a few. Pretty fun cars. The US stock 8.5 is 255. Are you talking about the Golf R, or are you talking about the GTI? You must be talking about the GTI because the Golf R already has over 300. So I'll have to do some research on that. But they told us there was no horsepower change for the U.S. because of the the EPA guidelines, that they weren't going to be able to do it. So not sure. Let's see. Any other questions, guys? As you guys can see, I got my videos running in the background back there, and actually up there too. It's up there and behind me. I'm curious, how many of you guys watch it on a TV screen? I'm just curious, because that's the only way I watch them is on a TV screen. I think most people still watch them on tablets or watch it on a phone. But a TV screen is definitely it for me, because I just like the presentation of it, and I kind of check myself and make sure I'm doing stuff right and make sure that the video presentation is pretty good. Let's see here. It's stated as 241, but tested out at 255. Well, that makes sense. So they're underreporting it, kind of like the EPA mileage, because they do that a lot now. Ever since the diesel thing, GTI new colors, I don't see a change. Hold on, let me look at my order guide here and see. I'm pretty sure that there's no change. Let's see here. I want to go back here to web source. Pardon me while I look away from the screen here, guys. GTI order guide 2026. I think the only color change is going to be that silver is still going to be around. Yeah, so the colors don't change. Mythos black, opal white pearl, alpine silver metallic, moonstone gray, king's red metallic, and slate blue. So they keep those colors. Let's see here. So the ones with an additional cost are going to be the moonstone gray, the king's red metallic, and opal white pearl are going to cost you extra. The rest do not. I just posted a video literally yesterday, day before, of an alpine silver GTI, and I think that's a pretty good looking car. Besides, did you say something about it's coming back? I was talking about Fritz's comment. They said it should come back. I agree, but I don't know. There's allegedly conversations about possibly bringing back the Passat. I think it was a mistake to get rid of it, but they wanted to go all SUV, and they've even talked about axing the Jetta, which would have made them 100% SUV with no sedans, which I think that would be absolutely foolish, especially in this market. Let's see here. So the color changes, there aren't any, for any of the cars, there aren't any real color changes. Because the Tiguan is keeping a 2025 color palette. The GTI is keeping the same color palette with that silver added. Excuse me. The Golf R is the only one that added the color, and it added the graphite gray metallic. As for the Atlas Cross Sports, the 2026s that we have coming, we have a lot of stuff coming in green, avocado green. Holy crap, we have a lot. We have 3 SE Tech full-size Atlases, 1 SE Tech Cross Sport, and I'm gonna tell you what, a green Cross Sport looks sick. There's a video I have of the one we got last year, the 2025. What's funny about that car is People who love green love green. And the buyer on that car that bought that Atlas Cross Sport that was green traded in a green Subaru Crosstrek that was that was the same color of green almost. So there's definitely buyers for that car. And when people see the green Atlas, they go, "Oh my!" I mean, it looks really, really good. Um, so I'm gonna look at something real quick here. Atlas Cross Sport. So, uh, let me filter color here. So that is avocado green. Okay, so in the cross sport alone, in avocado green, I have an SEL Premium R-Line coming with chalk and Titan interior. That one hasn't been built yet. And I have another SEL Premium R-Line with the Titan black and blue underlay. Both of those are going to look really good. And Atlas Cross Sport avocado green pearl with copper leatherette interior. That's a new color on the interior. That doesn't show up in the order guides. That doesn't show up anywhere. Um, Not sure if that's just the new name for the same color, because remember it was dark beige before, and not, or cinnamon if you went with the SEL or higher trim. So now they're calling it copper. Um, Let me look at the order guide here. 2026 interior color. Okay, I don't see. Yeah, on the order guide, it still calls it dark beige. So I don't know if that's just a name change. They're just calling it copper because it still shows cinnamon and Titan black on the SE, the SE with tech, and then the SEL says cinnamon and Titan black. Um, yeah, so I'm not sure. I think they're just coding it different. Um, Color changes for the Atlas. The only thing that changed for the Atlas and Atlas Cross Sport is the red. The Aurora red is gone. Did I get a Pro S Plus? No, I got an all-wheel drive Pro S. Not the Pro S Plus. The Pro S Plus was going to be over 60 grand. This car was 57. But the fact that we got a payment that starts under 400 bucks with a 15,000 mile a year lease for 2 years, that was insane. That is incredible. So we took it. We definitely took it. Let's see here. Um, any other questions there? You're welcome, Steve. So does anyone else have any other questions? It doesn't matter what it is. It could be Volkswagen related. It could be about cars in general. It could be about anything, except for politics. I refuse to talk about politics. That gets sideways. I won't ever do that. Um, so if you guys got other questions, and my Mortal Kombat machine right there, the Pac-Man machine over there, and all of these TVs. That's a Pioneer TV. Some things you didn't know about me. I used to work at Best Buy, so all of these TVs I bought at Best Buy. The Pac-Man machine I got at Best Buy. All of that stuff. Let's see here. Am I late for an ID Buzz update? Um, the ID Buzz, there's no update. The 2025s are still being built. We got a cool one coming in a Pro S rear-wheel drive that'll be Metro. It'll be cherry red with Metro silver. So it'll be a two-tone red and silver one. That's going to look pretty dang cool. We're not even sure that they're going to build the 2026 now. And the only reason we say that is just because there's been so much radio silence on what's going on with the ID Buzz. We don't know for sure. That car is moving slow. There's no doubt about it. Mainly because there's no incentives on that car other than there is a $7,500 EV lease bonus on that car. And then there's another 3,000. There's another 3,000 off on that car too, if you lease it. So a total of 10,500 till September 30th. But if you buy it, it shrinks to 2,500, and there's no lease bonus, obviously, so you get 2,500 off. And then the dealers are discounting the car how they choose. I think every dealer's at least got 2 or 3 of them, so they're not flying off the shelves because they just people have sticker shock with that car. That car's high priced. But that's how the EV market is in general. So it's not anything out of the ordinary. It's just they're not where gas cars are, and people kind of expect that. So as for 2026, we're not sure what's going to happen. Let's see here. So, any other questions? 2025 R-Line. Can I ask a question about this vehicle? Go ahead, Francine. What's your question? If anybody else has got a question, type it in there too. Price increase for 26 GTI or Golf R. Again, those are all price hold. Everything 2026 has a price hold on it. They have no prices listed because everything in 2026 is going to have a tariff baked into it. Everything, including the Atlas Cross Sport, Taos, Tiguan, Jetta, Golf R, GTI. They're all going to have a tariff baked into them. So we don't know what that looks like. Atlas and Atlas Cross Sport had about a $1,500 price increase. Excuse me. So I'll give you a comparison. In 2017, you could get a 2018 Atlas S model for about $37,000. They eliminated the S model, but they also had a launch edition that was about, 39,000. And all that did was you still kept the cloth seats, but you got an Apple CarPlay radio or Apple CarPlay Android Auto type radio and a sunroof in a launch edition. So that put it just under 40. Now the SE, which is the base trim of the Atlas, front wheel drive, you can get that for about 42.5, 42.6 as a 2026, and the all wheel drive is going to be 44.6 roughly. That's including destination in that number. Let's see here. Francine, you said when you are braking, does it make a noise? Do you mean, is there some type of alert? Or are you talking about brakes squealing, squeaking, scraping, something like that? I'm not sure what you're asking. So anyway, Atlas SE, what it now is 44, almost 45 grand. And Atlas SE Tech, not fully loaded with all of the bells and whistles, is 49.7, 49.8. That's insane. When the Atlas came out, the top of the line one was the SEL Premium. There wasn't an R line yet. There was just the SEL Premium, and you could get that one for 47 to 49 grand. An SEL Premium. That was ventilated seats. That was the bullnose front end. That was real leather. That was a heated steering wheel. Leather seats front and second row. And then third row, of course, was the leatherette seats. Let's see. Francine, are you referring to like an alert noise, or actual the brakes actually making a sound? Um, so that was a lot of car. And then they came out with the SEL Premium R line in 2021 when they did the facelift. And the car ended up being 3 inches longer because if you guys remember, the Atlas, you couldn't get an R line on an SEL Premium Atlas because it was the bumper assembly and the front cameras. They didn't have a design that was going to work with the bumper and the camera up front. So on the Atlases, when you got an R line, you could only get the SE Tech. It was an SE Tech R line or an SEL-R line. There wasn't an SEL Premium R line yet. Let's see here. Anybody else have questions? I'm still answering some questions here while I'm kind of rambling. But the price difference on the Atlas now, it's still right there with the rest of the market. But the thing about the Atlas when it first came out was it was kicking the ass of everything else in the class. And I didn't mean that to rhyme like that, but it was. The Explorer, the Pilot, let's see, well, what else was in that class? Navigator. It was beating everything in the class. So it just by price and just feature set, and then those seats that tilted and went forward where you didn't have to get into the back seat, or you didn't have to remove the car seat to get into the back seat. So that was very nice. Um, let's see. Does anybody else have questions? Type it away there. I'm still here. I'm going to cut it out here in a little bit here. Why am I having a hard time to find a Jetta Li Black with automatic transmission here in LA? All the dealerships around me have them in manual and very few black package in stock. Same. We haven't had an automatic transmission GLI for probably 6 months. We had a run where we just went manual, 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 manual. At one point, we had 5 of them in stock, and all but one of them had the black package. And 2 of them had Beats Audio because they were built before January 1st. So we had Beats Audio, we had automatics, and then our automatics just flew out. But we ended up with just manuals. But here's the thing. We got down to 1 manual. We sold out, and then we immediately got a a Monument Gray GLI that sold immediately. Monterey Blue one sold before that immediately, and now we have a red one, and I have 2 customers on the same car. So, and it's a manual, and it's a black package. And I want to tell you what a good looking car that is. The blue and the red have to be my 2 favorites. And not the pure gray. The pure gray was one of my favorites, but they didn't do it in 2025. So those are my 2 favorite colors. Are they not willing to do a dealer trade for you and get one there, Cali Tally? I like that name. That's pretty cool. And Francine, I'm still not clear on your question there. If you're still with us, type in, kind of clarify what you're asking there. Because if you're talking about brake noise, I don't know that the 2025 Tiguan's make a brake noise. I do know that if the car has been in park with the parking brake on and you release it, you will hear the frame sometimes creak. It's kind of like a loud kind of thing when you release the brake. Let's see, I found one in my area, black package, but it was a man. Oh, okay. I already saw that. Let's see. So dealers should be able to locate that car for you easily. I kind of think the fact that there's a dealer in Los Angeles that has the same issue that we have makes me think that maybe they built more manuals at the end and they stopped building the DSG one, or they slowed down, or they changed the product mix a little bit. Okay, so you're asking if it's possible to order a Taos 4Motion S with the 17-inch wheels. Are you referring to, which 17-inch wheel are you referring to? Are you referring to the all black one? Will there be an exhaust option for the GTI like they now have for the Golf R? Good question. I don't think so. It doesn't show up. It didn't show up on the order guide that way. Those black wheels, the way Volkswagen does it, and this is one of the quirky things that Volkswagen does. If you get a Taos S, you're going to get those gloss black wheels. If you get a Taos S 4Motion, you're only going to get the machine black and silver and black 18-inch wheels. The only way to get those 17-inch wheels is to go front-wheel drive. Don't know why that is, but that's the way it is. It's been that way since 2020. Was it the first year? It was either 22 or 23. I'm not 100% sure that it was the first year, but it definitely was the second. And that's how I could tell the difference between just eyeballing a Taos S. You could tell the difference because they had the black mirrors that weren't painted, and the front wheel drive had black wheels, and the other one had the machined wheels. So no, you can't order that way. But you can see if you can find a dealer that will put the 17s on it, but they're going to gladly charge you for it. They're not just going to do a wheel swap. Let's see. Or another option is just powder coat those wheels. I did do that for a customer way back in the beginning when the Taos first came out. You're welcome. I sold one to a guy from New Mexico. He actually flew in and drove it home. Um, no, actually, it wasn't New Mexico. It was near New Mexico, but it was in Texas, way out in western Texas, southwest Texas. Um, we ended up powder coating the wheels for him because we didn't know that about the wheels. And then when he got the car he got, it didn't have black wheels because it was 4Motion. So we ended up powder coating wheels for that. Let's see. Uh, Anybody else got a question? You're testing my product knowledge with these questions. I like it. Um, so I will just say this. If any of you own a Tiguan that is not a 2025 Tiguan, or you're not waiting for a 2026, let's say you have a 2018 or newer, man, you guys need to upgrade. And I'm not kidding. It's not just a salesman saying it. It's a cool, it's a lot of cool stuff. But what I see happening is, at least at my dealership, the R line is pretty much where everybody lands. Everybody wants the R line. It's kind of R line or bust. But the SE is still a great car. The S is still a great car. And I like the cloth interior on the S, and the fact that it looks like stonewashed jeans to me. It's kind of cool. Let's see. Does anybody else have a question? Type it up there in the box and I will answer it. But I'm over an hour here, so if I don't get if I don't get any other questions here, I'll wrap it up. But I'm going to try to do these. I keep saying it, I'll try to do these every week. I just don't have enough stuff to talk about to do these every week. And I don't have enough people asking questions for me to do this every week. So maybe every 2 weeks might be a little better thing. Or maybe, who knows, maybe I'll do it every 3 weeks. But Thursday would be the day, just because it's an off day for me. But I do all my yard work and all my busy work all day, and then I do these at night. But I want to get a little bit of regularity to it. That way you guys can chime in. But I won't necessarily post it. That way if I don't do one, I just don't. So it'll kind of be spur of the moment. So make sure you have a notification turned on if you like participating in these, or if these help you out in any way. If no one else has a question, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I'll give it to minute 10 here. An hour 10. I'm at an hour 7 here. But I will always go back to what Volkswagen should do on things. Is one, they should still be building the Touareg, even though they did announce that they're going to do an ID Touareg. They should still be building the Passat. They should still be building, let's see here, different wheel options for 26 on GTI and Golf R. 19, no. The wheel designs are going to stay the same as they are this year, because the Autobahn got that new wheel this year for the GTI, and the Golf R got that new wheel this year, and they're going to continue that wheel for next year. Let's see. What was I talking about? Oh, Passat definitely needs to come back, and they need to bring the Beetle back. And what I will do is I will drop also on my socials. I'm going to drop 2 videos. That new video, that Terramont, that 2025 Terramont Pro, I keep wanting to say Terramont Pro. So you guys can see what kind of things they're thinking about for the new Atlas. And I say it that way because there's no guarantee that they'll use any of it for the Atlas for the US. But the redesigned 2027 Atlas is definitely coming. I'm pretty confident that it's going to be a 2027. And there's the wheels right there that I spoke of on the Golf R right there. It's showing up behind me on that video. So that's going to be the same wheel in 2026. What was I saying? Oh, I'll post those videos. If you don't follow me on Instagram or TikTok, please do. I can post a link on Instagram. Well, my Facebook page, I'll post it there for sure. And I may post it in my post section on YouTube, so you can see it. It's someone else's video. I don't usually like posting or other people's videos and helping them get props and get paid, but hey, I'll do it. What news do you have about the 3-engine VW Tri-Bit? You're the only person I've heard that from. I haven't heard anything else on that. And the fact that it involves a diesel means it won't come to the U.S. I guarantee you that. Although I'd like to say that, yeah, that would come to the U.S., but anything diesel, They're not bringing it to the U.S. There's no way. Remember this? University of West Virginia. My hat's showing up backwards on my phone. WV. It's the only university or the only state that has V and W in the name. University of West Virginia is what did that. There will not be a diesel in the U.S. ever again. So they are still talking about hybrid for the U.S. Atlas, they're said on their velocity models. To me, that means Atlas, Atlas Crossport, and Tiguan. Those three will have a hybrid engine. And here's the other thing. I would love to see a T-Cross or a T-Roc or both in the U.S., and that won't happen either. And I'd also like to see a Club Sport GTI. Nope, they won't do that either. So there's that. 2026 Jetta pricing increasing nearly 5%. Yeah, we heard it was $750 for that, and the Taos was getting a bump of $1,500. So not for sure, but tariffs are definitely going to be baked in, and tariffs are going to change for 2026. They're going to change pricing on cars a lot. The other thing that's happening in the state of Missouri, at least, is dealerships are now required, or in 2026 this will happen, where dealerships are required to collect the sales tax for cars. So there's no more 30-day tags where people they're skipping out on paying their sales tax and driving around for eons and decades and years on a temporary tag that's only supposed to last 30 days. So I don't know about other states, but that's happening here in Missouri. So does anyone else have any other questions? So, with that being said, if I don't see another question here in the next pop up here, in the next minute here, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. But it's been fun. I love the fact that people tune into this. I think I'm pretty boring. I don't know that I have information, but it seems like a lot of people enjoy the information that I do put out there. And remember, I am a car salesman, so I need to sell cars too. So if you inquire of my dealership, you get an email, you unlock a price or do anything like that, ask for me, ask for Reese, because I'm amazed at the number of people who will come into my dealership and go, I know you. You're the one that does those videos. But they're telling me that from another salesperson's office. Make sure you ask for me. I'm doing this on my own free will. I'm doing all of this on my own. I put this all on the internet, and I try to dominate the internet searches. I haven't quite figured that out yet. I haven't quite mastered that yet. But test it out for me. Just type in 2025 Jetta or 2025 Tiguan, and just see how far down one of my videos is in the results. And just let me know in the comments. I'm just curious. It's not some of the videos I end up in the first 10, which is good. But I don't always turn up there. Sometimes I'm in the first 20, sometimes I'm in the first 30. But I'd like to be in the top 10 for every search you do. Let's see here. Robert, did you buy an ID for employee pricing? I did pay $180 a month for a Pro S Plus. We did too. We got ours down. Ours with everything included ended up being $352. But I'm sure you probably have a better credit score than I did. I came in at tier 4. I'm not proud of that, but it's been a challenging year. So yeah, that's what's happened. But we did 15,000 miles a year. So that's more miles, and we did a 2-year lease. So I have a coworker that got a lease for 60. I want to say 65, but it might be $60 a month for a 2-year lease. That's insanity. And it was a $47,000 car. Mine was 57. So that's pretty awesome. The employee pricing on these cars. So if no one else is going to buy the ID4s, the employees are going to snap them all up anyway. So there's that. Robert, I'm curious. What dealership do you work at? You got to tell me now. I got to know where you're at. Let's see. Jim, you're absolutely welcome. Absolutely welcome. Like I said, I like doing this, and I like getting feedback from people. Autobarn. Hey, wait, is that Chicago? I know there's Autobarn. There's probably Autobarns other places, but that sounds like Chicago. Yeah, awesome. So, well, nice to see a trade partner on here. We've called you guys once in a while for dealer trades. It's not very often, but we have a couple times. But guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up here because I'm up on that 1 hour, 15-minute mark. And I appreciate each and every one of you tuning in. This is pretty cool. And then if you guys have any questions at all, you can always type them in the back screen because people will watch this later. Or you got me on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. I'm on X. I'm also on TikTok, so you can reach me there. Thanks a lot, guys. Stay safe, stay healthy. Have a great evening. All right.